Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Grit.
Yep. How you been?
Oh, I've been pretty good. I had a pretty busy week this week, actually. Did a couple local Tacoma events.
Yeah.
How about you?
I burned the roof of my mouth
Oh no.
on
With fire?
No, not fire. Pizza, which is a usual suspect when it comes to burning the roof of your mouth.
Did you go to Forelli's?
No.
Brick City?
I was in my own home.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, it was leftover pizza that I had
You burned yourself with leftover
with
pizza.
leftover pizza.
Oh, no,
I'm so pissed.
That's pretty shameful.
I've never heard of anybody I'm sure it's been done a million times, but
What was your reheating process?
I used a microwave.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's sorry state affairs.
Well, I mean, sometimes you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, but like you should be better with the microwave than that.
I think it's been such a long time since I've eaten leftover pizza because I hate leftover pizza, so I'll try to just either eat it all in one sitting or give it to somebody else because I just don't like leftover pizza.
Well, maybe it's because you don't know how to reheat it.
Yeah, well, or I just don't know how to reheat it because I never have leftover pizza.
There you go. It's a
little
catch-22.
bit. Yeah,
You'll never learn.
I'll never. And the thing that really makes me mad was it was like very meh pizza. It was Zeke's.
I actually like Zeke's.
I think it's okay,
They have a couple specialty ones that I'm like, oh, this is a combo that I'm a big fan of.
I had their pizza by the slice, so I'm wondering if like the substandard pizzas just get thrown into the pizza by the slice pile.
There's potentially that could be the case. I think they have like a pesto, tomato, heart. What's the heart?
Artichoke heart.
Artichoke
yeah.
heart.
Okay.
Something like that. My mom used to get. I really like that one. But yeah, so you reheated one slice and you put it in for so long it burnt your mouth.
Yeah.
Oof.
The thing is, like, it's not even like that painful.
You put it through like 10 minutes.
No, I just put it in there for 90 seconds.
Wow, 90! You got a powerful microwave.
I guess I do. The thing is, like, when you
That'll
burn...
throw you off. You got to calibrate your microwave. It should boil 1 cup of water in 1 minute, I heard.
Oh, really? That sounds like... No, that sounds way too powerful.
Just 1 cup of water. That's not very much.
Still, though. I guess it also depends on what container it's in. Like, what container do you use for that?
Oh, yeah, if it's also have to heat up the container.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that then. So that's what I remember hearing. 1 cup of water in 1 minute. Should reach 100 degrees.
But yeah, anyways, like,
Celsius.
When you burn the roof of your mouth, it's not even, like, that painful. It's just later on, it's like, why is there a blister on the roof of my mouth? And it's like, oh, I know what happened.
Well, it also makes the pizza not taste as good.
No.
Because you can't taste it very good.
But,
very well.
I can understand, like, it's a fresh pizza, you burn the roof of your mouth. Sometimes, sacrifices are made, right? But, like, on reheated pizza, it's embarrassing.
No, that is embarrassing. I'm glad you led this episode with it.
But other than that, pretty good week. I like to do photography on like the side, and I'll tell you what, this smoke, it's getting on my nerves.
Oh, I was thinking you were gonna love it for the sunsets.
Yeah, but I'm not really like a sunset,
You're not a sunset
photographer.
You're more of you're like a big landscape photographer.
Yeah, I also like to do trains. I like taking
yeah.
pictures of the trains.
Does it affect the trains, the smoke?
Well, the problem is, like, especially if it's a really sunny day out and you have like a good haze of smoke, it kind of just washes everything out because like the lights being like reflected off of the smoke. So it'd be like if you're taking pictures on a really foggy day too.
Okay, which is pretty normal too.
Yeah,
which is actually probably what we should be expecting right about now, anyway.
I think so. Yeah.
I went to this Mike the other night, and I was talking about how it's crazy that it's like still ice cream weather.
Yeah.
And usually around this time of season, it's like I don't remember as a kid ever not having it rain on Halloween.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Like I always had to wear a coat over my
your costume.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But so it's like, okay, well, what are we? It's still good temperature out.
Yeah.
But I can understand, like, for as long as it, like, it might make for an interesting photograph, but then it's the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
It doesn't have the variety of a regular day.
Right. And the other thing, though, the one thing I do like about it is, like, last night I went outside and I was like, it smells like a campfire out here.
I actually do like the smell.
I love the smell of a campfire.
I don't know if... I think my eyes might be a little bit sensitive. That might be the downfall. The air quality... There's definitely some areas where you notice it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
For, like, breathing, but it's... I'm not, like... Can't breathe.
Yeah, I wouldn't run a marathon in this.
But I wouldn't run a marathon anyway.
I know. The first guy that ran a marathon died right afterwards.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what made it so cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
He said Nike.
Yeah. Well, he was pushing his limits, I think.
Oh, I'm sure he was. You know, running technology, like the science of running, was nowhere near what it was back in that day.
Is that true?
I don't know. I just made that up.
I feel like running's one of those things that's been pretty much the same for a long time.
Well, I feel like the training,
one
the understanding,
other,
like
put one knee up.
Yeah, but like, you know, I mean, when like you train.
Maybe it was barefoot. I do bet shoe technology's advanced quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe he had some sandals, you know.
That was the downfall. That's what killed him.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I've heard from people...
flip-flops on a marathon, and you'll die from that.
I work with a couple people who have run marathons, and like late in the marathon, like your toenails will start to fall off.
Oh, yeah, it's bad for your knees.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, but some people like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, you like it, but it's like...
Does Tacoma have, like, a big marathon? Like, a citywide, like... I know there's a bunch of Seattle ones.
I think we have, like, some, like, 5Ks and 10Ks, maybe a little halfer.
You think there'd be a good place for it.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Well, what would you pick really for... What would you pick for, like, a route? Like, what were... Like, if you were planning a marathon in Tacoma, like, what...
I'd do it along the coast. I'd do like up to like go from like the Point Defiance.
Yeah.
You meet that either the beginning or the end, and go down the east coast, I guess.
Okay. Go by like Chambers Bay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know how far it would take, but you could add a lot of that windy stuff inside of the zoo, probably.
You know, it'd be kind of cool if on, like, the last stretch, like, it was on the Tacoma Narrows.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a great, or a good starting point.
I mean, you'd have to shut down one of the bridges, but I'm sure, you know.
No, there's running paths.
There are, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to shut it down at all.
Huh.
You ever walked across the Tacoma Narrows?
No.
Save you $5.
Oh, really? Could you imagine if they did charge people for walking on the bridge?
I can imagine that, actually.
Yeah,
it's very easy to imagine.
They just have like one of those like turnstiles that you have at like a metro where you got to like swipe a card.
Totally.
Yeah, but you know, when you take Highway 16, there's that giant American flag.
Oh yeah, I love it at the Tacoma Screw.
Yeah, and I did not know for the longest time it was at Tacoma Screw. I was like, surely this has to be a car dealership.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Tacoma Screw next to it, but I was like, I didn't even. It's like, why do they have it? Like, maybe it was a government thing, but I looked it up, and it's like, no, just like the owner of it was like, it was like their 70th anniversary, and they're like, in honor of the troops, we're gonna have the biggest flag. I actually looked at. It's the biggest flag west of the Mississippi and north of Sacramento.
Really? That's a pretty big area to cover.
Yeah, apparently it's... So, I was reading some of this stuff. It was a little confusing. Because they said they got it, and it was a $4,000 flag.
Oh, wow.
80 feet by 40 feet.
That's huge.
And then they said they bought 3 of them to keep it crisp.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that meant like it's like triple thick, or if they swap them out and like
they probably swap them out.
Swap them out.
Yeah,
because they keep them up 24/7.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool, and I do like the lighting on it always like shines pretty solid.
And that's like it's part of like the procedure. Like if you want to fly an American flag at night, you gotta put lights on it.
Exactly, and so I also read that so it's the pole is 180 feet tall.
Jeez.
Which it was only allowed to be like the limit for things. For how tall things can be is 200 feet within certain proximity of the air force or the base.
Yeah.
Because then it gets in the way of like flying. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, come on, you can't see a big flag.
Well, they'd have to put one of those red beacon lights on top of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be like, what the hell is that? They're like, it's a flagpole.
Or like one of those like orange basketball things that they put on like power lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
those are my favorite.
Is that what those are for?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's so that the helicopter won't run into it or whatever.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was thinking of planes at first, and I'm like, why is the
plane would never be that low?
Who built this right in front of the runway?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But I was surprised that is like such a like it's a big flag, but like. To be like a top tier flag in the like west of the Mississippi, north of Sacramento, that's a big area.
Right here, in Tacoma.
Yeah, we got our pride in them.
I wonder how many guys like change that flag out.
What do you mean?
Like one guy can't like change the flag.
Oh, you mean like pull it down?
Yeah, pull it down and swap it out with another one if they put them on rotation.
Oh, even like to fold it up, you probably need more than.
That's like a 20 or 30 guy job at least.
Well, if it's 150 pounds, I don't know, maybe.
Well, the thing is, you don't want it to touch the ground, so you have to keep it stretched out and taut when you fold it back in. Yeah. And then when you fold it back in, like you need either a big guy to carry it, or you need a few people to carry it when it's in the folded configuration.
Yeah, maybe I guess they just probably leave it up there.
Yeah, well they can't, because with a flag that big, if you have a storm coming, it'll tear down the pole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean I don't know how strong the pole is, but like
I think it's pretty strong.
They
said that it's actually. It could have held a bigger flag.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I believe there's 3, like, flag sizes for the American flag. The biggest, I think, is called Garrison. It's either Garrison or Parade. And then the smallest is the Storm flag. And it's because you don't want a massive flag when it's really windy, because, you don't want either the flag to tear off and fly away, or it to just, tear apart the flagpole. So
interesting.
Yeah.
How big? Do you know how big they are?
Like the biggest, Parade and Garrison don't get nearly that big. Like that's a special order flag for sure. But they're still pretty big. I remember. I mean, I saw some guys take one down before. Like a storm was coming, so the wind was picking up, and it was like lifting people up off the ground. Not too far, but like you really had to hang on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had that happen to me one time when I was in a tent and I didn't stake it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or not staked down well enough, I think.
Yeah. No. I have not been camping in a long time. Have you?
Yeah, I have, but not like. It's not like my favorite. I'll do it more. I wouldn't lead the charge, but I have all the equipment, so
okay.
Makes it a little easier.
I noticed like Tacoma is trying to put like a ban on camping in certain parts of the city.
Oh yeah. I read about that too. What I saw with the complaint. So the area they're banning it though, which is stupid, is like right in front of all of the homeless services.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, so then you want them to be further away and then they're just going to commute? Like, make it easy on them.
Well, the thing that I think is also, like, like when I heard that, I thought, that's a great idea. How come nobody ever thought of camping in the city before? You don't have to drive way out to the national park.
Yeah,
you just find a roundabout that's got a nice like grassy knoll in the middle, and you just camp out right there. Screw driving all the way out to Mount Rainier or whatever. Just camp in the city.
Yeah, you can go to the grocery store.
Yeah, you want to get a coffee like the morning when you wake up in your tent. Starbucks is right there. Or, whatever your place is.
It actually does seem pretty kind of nice.
I mean, I guess if you're a homeowner, you can always camp in your backyard if you want.
That's true. A yard. It's not much of an adventure, though.
No, but I think sometimes the charm of camping's not necessarily the adventure itself. Just sleeping outside.
Oh. Okay, I could see that. The sleeping outside being pretty significant. For me, it's being away.
Okay.
Yeah, getting away.
Stealth camping, Chambers Bay Golf Course.
I bet you actually could get away with that. There's some. I mean, it's.
Yeah,
I'd have to think about it.
I'm sure there's people that do it, but they do it so well we don't know about it, right? Because if we knew about it, they'd get caught.
Well, and it's also kind of far away from anything you'd want. Like if you didn't have a vehicle, and you were just living in a tent, you probably wouldn't want to. It's not close to the store or anything.
Yeah, there's people that like live in vans, right? And sometimes around Halloween, there'll be like trunk or treat events. Like instead of going from door to door, people decorate the trunks of their vehicles. I think people who live in their vans should be disqualified from these events. They have an unfair advantage.
I disagree. I think the more the merrier. It's funny. I was actually talking to Reggie X about this very topic, and he said he had a joke about it. He was like, "I'm not above going trick or treating at the homeless camp." Because and it's not so they don't always have this regular stuff. Sometimes you get a pair of warm socks or a scoop of soup. But the hard part is you don't know where to knock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of good knocking surfaces.
No, it's hard to. That's at an angle usually.
Yeah.
But I do like that Halloween's around the corner. It seems like there's a good amount of Halloween-related events coming up.
Yeah, I think.
I got invited to a rave in Roy.
Roy?
Yeah, yesterday.
They have
last
raves
night
in
and
Roy.
Today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a Halloween costume event in Roy. It actually looked pretty substantial.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've come one, come all to Roy.
Yeah, I guess.
But it was the first thing that I got invited to that was costume related. And I'm like, oh, it's coming.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do you have your Halloween costume figured out?
No, I haven't really thought about it much.
With your mustache, you could go in a lot of directions.
I know, but sometimes I feel kind of cheesy leaning into it too much, but I guess Halloween's kind of a cheesy.
That's what Halloween's for.
Holiday. I will say though, like I think it was this weekend, like the zoos gave like the animals pumpkins as like treats.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Pumpkin's a good treat for an animal.
Yeah, I think at Point Defiance they call it the Zoo Boo.
Sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
That's pretty good. I think I've seen a hippo eat a pumpkin before.
That must be very.
It does like
dramatic.
A big chomp. Yeah, exactly, and then it explodes on the side, up the sides.
And it could do that to your head too. Which is...
Now that I think about it, it was a watermelon.
Okay.
But probably pretty similar.
Also a good substitute for a human head.
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, I did bring beers this time.
Nice. Oh, yeah. The frost.
Oh, yes. So, I got us the Golden Sigil, or just the Gold Sigil from Dystopian State Brewing Company.
Oh. Dystopian State.
Oh, yeah. They're
the Imperial Honey Wheat Ale. Oh, interesting.
It's pretty good. I like it a lot.
That's my direction. It's got an ABV of 8.0 and it's got an IBU 19 OG 1.1071.
Oh, yeah.
1.071, I mean.
And I'm not actually sure what that third metric is.
The OG?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
No, but it's very close to 1.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's like 1 is like the baseline, and then depending on how you deviate from 1 is like, but I have no idea.
Yeah, if that's like significant or if it's usually lower or higher.
Because that's not one I've seen before. Because I know ABV. Everybody knows ABV.
Gotta know ABV.
And then,
that's dangerous not to know.
IBU is pretty common one.
There's not a lot of knowledge that's dangerous not to know, but ABV, you gotta know that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I always thought was kind of strange though was so proof is double your ABV.
Yep. But
what use is that? Why would you ever use proof? Like why do I see it so much?
That's a good question.
It's just confusing sometimes, and you're like, "Whoa, this is never mind. It's half as much."
But it's like exclusively used in spirits. I feel like I've never seen a beer that was like this one wouldn't be like it's 16 proof, right?
Yeah.
It's just beers are just ABV, right?
Yeah.
I think wines too ABV, but like once you start talking about like whiskey, you have like 80, 90, 92 proof.
Yeah,
151,
180.
Yeah.
I poured this poorly now. It has all this foam. All this weight, I suppose.
It's
that's part of the game.
It's fun.
It's got a good amount of foam, but I don't know what it tastes like yet. How do you like yours?
Oh, I love it.
What about it?
I just like the taste. So here's the thing. Like I usually start to get wary of beers that are over like 7 ABV. Like then I start to think like, am I going to start tasting too much alcohol? But this is one of those beers, and I think it might have something to do with the honey that you don't taste the alcohol. Like the flavor of the beer really speaks for itself, and I feel like the alcohol content doesn't sort of overwhelm or affect the flavor too dramatically.
That I have similar taste. I'd agree with. Like over 7%, I get a headache a little more easily, and usually it's like heavier to drink. But honey is a flavor that is really in that opposite direction of something light or something I'd think would be in like a 5.5 or something.
Yeah. So I really enjoy this one. Dystopian State. It's right above. Where like the artist supply store and Cuerno Bravo are on Market or St. Helens?
Yeah, I've never been in, but I've driven by.
It's right upstairs.
Oh, it's like just an upstairs brewery?
Yeah, but like the way it works is like the street it's on. I can't remember. It runs diagonal from 6th Avenue when you reach the intersection of St. Helens and 6th, but the way it works is like it's such a steep climb that if you go in through the front door, like where the parking spaces are, you just go straight in. You don't have to go up the stairs. I don't actually know if they have stairs to it if you go into like Cuerno Bravo or the artist supply store. I think they're separate buildings. I don't think that there's stairs connecting those two units.
Okay.
But it's
So did you get this there, or did you get this at
I got it there.
Cool.
I actually went there. They sell cans, but all the brewing equipment's right there. It looks like it used to be, like reclaimed industrial property. It's got like high ceilings with these big wooden beams and stuff, but they've made it really nice in there. There's like tables with like board games and stuff. I'll see like a lot of people in there playing board games.
Okay.
They've got, what's that game where like everybody gets
Moncala?
No. There's like a cut out piece from a log, and everybody gets a nail, and there's a hammer, and they hammer the nails into the log. I forget what it's called.
Hammer the nails into the log sounds like a pretty good name to me. I've seen it all over the world.
That's what I would call it.
Yeah.
But
Are you good at that game?
I've actually never played.
You've never hammered a nail into wood?
I mean, I've hammered a nail into wood, but not as like a competitive game, you know.
How do you think you'd fare?
I think I would do okay.
Well, do you think Zach would be legendary? Zach, our friend who works at Tacoma Screw?
No, but if it was a game where you have to drill a screw into,
I think they sell nails too.
I don't know. With a name like Tacoma
Screw,
I'm doubtful.
You might not have. Maybe you're not as good with the hammer as a Phillips head.
A whole store full of screws. Oh. That's all that's in there. Maybe some nuts and bolts. Yeah. Maybe
some fasteners.
I mean, there's some screw in action with those, you know.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's got really cool. Like those incandescent bulbs. It has a very warm sort of ambiance. Like it's a nice place where you would get together with your friends and play some games.
Is it very big? Like how many people you think?
It's pretty big. I would say you could probably fit like 200 people in there.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
But it never feels... You know, like sometimes like really big places will have sort of like a cafeteria ambiance to it, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
But no, this place still feels, despite how big it is, it feels comfortable, cozy.
There's like corners to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like their branding, you know, Dystopian State.
I do like the logo.
It's got very like authoritarian aesthetics to it.
Yeah, it's got the Iron Eagle with hops on its crest.
And it's like, you know, it's like kind of like futuristic too. You got like little fighter jet or something. And I got another one from them. It's called Thought Police, and like the art on it is like it's like a robot cop with like a baton, but like the head is like a TV with static. It's pretty cool.
Like Saga.
Saga.
You ever read Saga?
No.
Yeah, these main characters had TV heads.
Okay. Huh.
It's one of the better comic books out there.
Okay.
But that's interesting. I like. I'm not a big fan of the Thought Police, but maybe the beverage is nice.
I like it. Yeah.
I like my thoughts to.
Well, I don't think you're
anarchistic.
I don't think you're supposed to be a fan of the Thought Police. After all, it's Dystopian State Brewing Company.
Yeah. Well, I like a dystopia.
Yeah.
Because usually it starts out as a utopia.
Well,
but
yeah,
I mean, a little bit different. It almost made it.
Yeah. Like in terms of like story or like the conflict, I think dystopias are very interesting, and I think that's why I'm sort of fascinated with the brewery's branding. It's like, I want to know more. Tell me the story of...
Yeah, do you have a favorite dystopia?
That's a good question. I kind of like... And granted, this isn't a very, like, nuanced one where it's like they were trying to reach, utopia and they screwed up somewhere. Mm-hmm. You ever seen Children of Men?
Oh, yeah.
I love Children of Men.
Oh, that's an so interesting
cool. One. Yeah, I love that movie.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure necessarily the distinction between like post-apocalyptic and dystopian.
I think they can be both. Like
I think it can. There's a decent amount of overlap.
Yeah.
But my favorite would probably be like Brave New World. Where everyone's taking the Soma drug and having a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. That's why it's the best dystopia.
What was that?
Everyone's just kind of having a good time.
What's the one where the movie where Christian Bale does the gun kata? Equilibrium.
Oh.
Like somebody saw The Matrix and they're like, I'm going to make that better.
That one was actually a pretty good dystopia.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely in the like 1984 vein of a dystopia.
Yeah, I mean, just you know, a martial art around dual wielding pistols, like that's pretty cool.
That is a good choice.
You know, the thing is, like, we don't need it to be a dystopia to make cool things like that. Yet we haven't. So, you know, that raises some interesting questions. We did. Maybe we'll just start our own Tacoma martial arts style that involves handguns.
Whoa, that would be cool. Or that involves big swords. Apparently, we're famous. We have like world-class forgers in Tacoma.
Really?
Yeah, you know that there's like a History Channel type show
called
Forged in Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who won it lives in Tacoma.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually have not watched an episode of that show. I've just been on their YouTube channel a few times.
Well, you don't really need to watch the whole episode.
Yeah.
You can watch a 5-minute version and then get the gist.
It seems dangerous to be the guy that so there's that point in the show where they have to test the weapons. Mm-hmm. That seems dangerous. Will it kill? Yeah. Your blade will kill.
Which is a very low bar for a weapon.
Yeah, I mean that's like what we expect weapons to do.
Yeah, if it can't even kill, then what are you doing?
It might be a it's not even a tool.
Yeah, like I could kill somebody with fucking this thing right here. It's a sword. I guess that would make sense.
Forged in fire.
Forged in fire. I wonder if the microphone caught the audio of me partially unsheathing this actual sword that's within arm's reach.
I wonder if it'll kill.
It will kill.
But I've watched him where he does the cutting test and the blade just whips. It'll whip back and hit him in the arm, and it's that looks remarkably painful.
I saw one where the guy stepped in. He's like, "I will not test this blade. It is inferior. It's dangerous to wield properly."
My favorite part,
because he made the handle in a shape that it didn't allow mobility for your arm. Gotta have that.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like they get so wrapped up in the actual design of the business end of it that they forget about the ergonomics, the most important thing, the user. Right?
Totally. Or making it look nice.
Yeah.
Rather than easy to wield.
Yeah. So it's that's certainly an interesting show.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy who won it, he just has a forge in his garage.
What would you get?
And I guess he's not the only one.
What would you get made there?
If I could choose a weapon to be forged in steel?
Yeah.
I'm more of a defensive type of a guy, so I think a cool shield would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Or a cool I guess he wouldn't do chainmail; it wouldn't really be forged in steel. But maybe a suit of armor would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even just the breastplate with the shoulders or whatever, almost like a football player.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
Oh man, that's I don't know. Am I basic for saying the Claymore? I feel like I watched. You watch Braveheart, and you're like,
is that basic? I think it seems somewhat either simple to make or very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, basic is in everybody would pick the Claymore.
I think probably the most basic answer would be the halberd.
Well, it's such a fantastic weapon. Yeah. You can't go wrong with the halberd.
Two-handed sword.
Yeah.
Or a katana, maybe.
That would be pretty basic.
Yeah.
I feel like
throwing stars.
He'd probably tell you to leave the forge if you asked for throwing stars.
I remember in 5th grade, our school or our class had a field trip to Chinatown.
Okay.
And we went to the fortune cookie factory, and we went to all sorts of things. And in one of the stores, they were selling throwing stars, and everyone was trying to figure out how to get them. But I don't know if anyone was successful.
Well, the thing with throwing stars is I feel like it's just such a novelty weapon that have you ever heard the term mall ninja?
Yes.
I feel like throwing stars are the epitome of mall ninja sort of culture, right? You're at a fair or a market or something, and somebody just has this big table of cheap, flashy weapons that'll probably get you killed.
Oh, it's in the nunchuck world.
Yeah, it's in the nunchuck world, right?
But I actually think it's much more practical than a nunchuck. Because realistically, if I'm in a fight, I want a distance weapon. So I'd much rather have a throwing star than a knife, or like a set of throwing stars than a knife.
I feel like a rock would just be a more effective throwing weapon.
Yeah, but think about the intimidation factor. You know, like the reason cops have shotguns is so they can cock them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, so you get a throwing star to the chest. You're like, cool. This guy's got throwing stars.
I feel like the collapsible baton has like the same effect. Like when you just whip it out, it makes that crack noise.
You want like good sounds to be like, hey, this thing is business.
Or like when you pull out the taser and you make it.
You
make it arc. Yeah.
Or you pull out your whip and you crack it once.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine you get in a street fight and somebody pulls out a whip?
The tough thing about the whip is you have to be a pretty particular distance away from somebody.
I feel like you got to be pretty good with it too. Like you've got to practice with the whip.
No, it's easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like to hit a target with a whip.
Oh, to hit a target.
Like I feel like cracking the whip. Yeah, you just got to swing it. But like, somebody's got like a cigarette in their mouth and like to put it out with the whip.
That's just very difficult.
You'd have to. I feel like that's some Indiana Jones level stuff.
Actually, now that I think about it, probably not that difficult because you know how long the whip is.
Okay.
It'll just go to its full length.
Yeah, but still to aim it, I feel like
it's just an extension of your arm. Right?
Now I'm curious. I want to actually buy one and try it out.
I feel like
yard.
I've tried a whip before and it wasn't as hard as you think. But the thing is, if you there's the potential of you messing it up in some way, and it like cracks like before it fully extends, and like you could like hit yourself in the head or something somehow. I'm not sure. There's some element that I'm like, I don't want to practice this. It's not worth it.
It's like, I have an irrational fear of catching myself when I cast out a line during fishing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I've had that happen with fishing all the time. For sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not a fun experience.
Well, I mean, more often it catches your clothing or your hair or something like that. I'm not usually, it's not catching my arm. But I have had it catch some things.
I was around town and I saw an event poster for something I didn't think they did anymore. Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, yeah. I know a guy who used to work on that.
That's like, you get on the train, right? And they serve you dinner.
They do a mystery theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's big. I actually think it's even becoming more popular.
I feel
like dinner theater type events, and even aboard the train, I think they have a variety of type murder mystery type things. Yeah, my friend James Hardenfeld used to work on that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't remember if he liked it or not.
I like the one thing that sort of comes to mind for me is like what route do they take, or like is the train actually moving? Like
no, it's definitely moving.
Okay.
But that's a good question. What is the route?
Like, because, I like to take pictures of trains. I want to find out where the Orient Express is going. I want to get a couple
Do you like pictures from the inside of a train, too?
Sure, why not?
If you could go on one train, what would you, like your dream train, like you have a month to travel and you get to travel by train.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like around the world in 180 days kind of a guy. What's the best train out there?
Gosh, I don't know. I think maybe the Trans-Canadian Railroad.
Oh, you go Trans-Canadian.
Yeah, go Trans-Canadian.
You could listen to Gordon Lightfoot the whole way. He wrote the trilogy, the Canadian Railroad trilogy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's very famous.
Is it
Canadian
long? Is it song. Like a okay?
It's an epic a little bit. I think it's only maybe like 9 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Canada actually has like passenger rail like we do. Like we have Amtrak, right?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
I don't know, but I remember taking it. Oh wait, now that I think about it, that was Alaska. I felt like there was something that like connected up, like the Western Passage, like just up through BC up to Alaska.
Amtrak Cascades?
Yeah, potentially.
Because I know Amtrak Cascades will go up to Vancouver, BC.
I don't know. I think it changes its name. It was a long time ago. I can't really remember. But I do think there's a Canadian one. I'm surprised you didn't say the Trans-Siberian Railroad, though. You wouldn't want to do that. That's the legendary track.
I know it is. I don't know.
It's not your dream.
I haven't dreamt of it.
Well, maybe you got to look it up and have a new dream. Dream.
I'll just watch it on YouTube and live vicariously through someone else. That's usually how I.
There's probably got to be some good. Like I watch those 4K driving videos. Mm-hmm. There's got to be some good train ones through the Alps or something like that.
I'm sure there are. Oh, the Alps would be cool.
Yeah.
You know who make a good train route? The Italians. They got some good train routes.
Do an Italian train adventure
through the Italian Alps.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be.
Yeah, trains through the mountains are probably the best place for them in my mind.
Yeah. Do people take a train out to Leavenworth? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think it's a stop, but I don't know, because I think it goes through to Spokane.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I thought
Spokane is a railroad town. Okay. It's one of the. I guess it's technically on a river, but I read something that Spokane and Omaha are the two biggest cities in the United States that aren't on a major body of water. But then I'm wait. But then it was.
But what about Atlanta?
But then it was, and then you're right. What am I thinking about?
Because Atlanta's a big railroad town too. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, then it must be something else.
Well, their soccer team, the Atlanta United. Whoever is the best player of the match, they give them a golden railroad spike.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. But
I always thought about there's this project. It's called Tracks to Trails, and it converts old railroads to walking trails across the country. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool to be one of the people who pulls up the old railroad spikes and sells them for scrap metal. As you're walking along, just pull a couple railroad spikes, but apparently scrap metal places won't accept railroad ties because it's dangerous to encourage people collecting those.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Because then they'll start collecting them from active railroad tracks.
Yeah, you don't want that. Tacoma's a bit of a railroad town.
I would agree. I mean, it really defined a lot of the westward expansion.
I mean, I think this used to be the terminus for the Northern Pacific Railroad.
Oh yeah.
Before
at the Union Pacific.
All the railroads got gobbled up by UP and BNSF out here. Although Tacoma still has Tacoma Rail, which is our own thing.
And we're expanding the light rail every day.
Every day, yeah.
One step at a time.
Too many days, if you ask me.
I think it's close.
We're getting there. I think it's going to be early 2023, I think. If I had to guess.
That's really close.
You know what makes me mad, though?
What? Federal
Way's supposed to get their extension to, the main line that runs all the way up to Northgate. I think they get it in, 2024 or 2025. We're not going to get connected until 2036. It's
Well, we're a lot further away.
The Federal Way's only, a few miles up north, isn't it? It's.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. I don't think it's that much further. It's.
I think it's a good distance to make it all the way to Tacoma.
I don't think it's 12
but
years.
12 years.
Distance,
come on, that should be the priority.
I know they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but I don't think it took them 12 years to build Rome either.
I also saw this thing about they're thinking about making a new airport the size of SeaTac.
I've heard that. I wonder.
That they were looking at different areas around Puyallup. South Puyallup.
I heard around Olympia too, maybe.
Yeah, I read this article that there were 4 or 5 proposed locations. There's this committee got together, and the article was funny to me though because it was what about the culture of the community of South Puyallup? It's 600 people or whatever who live in the area, and the other 1,000 people who will be close to an airport.
We're going to call this one Tacoma International.
But keep it as SeaTac.
Well, those bastards up at SeaTac. So one of the agreements was when Tacoma lent money to construct the airport, Tacoma was supposed to be in the name of the airport. Ever since the airport's been built, the commissioners at the Port of Seattle have wanted to remove Tacoma from the name, which is why right now, like, if you go to the airport or look at anything branded from the airport, it'll say SEA in big letters, and then a tiny little Seattle Tacoma International, and it's like, we paid for this, okay?
Well, the real ones now. So, do you have any exciting events coming up this week?
There is a holiday food and gift show at the Tacoma Dome.
Oh, nice.
Which
is that after Elton John leaves?
Yeah, well,
you think he's gonna get a few presents on his way out.
I wonder what he would get.
Probably some funny sunglasses.
Yeah, maybe a piano.
I don't know if that's really a gift. That's a nice gift. If you get someone a piano,
that's a
gift.
You know, the delivery of...
I heard that Eminem got him a diamond-studded cock ring.
Ooh.
That's a nice gift.
That is a nice gift.
That's a nice gift for Elton John.
I wonder where he got it. Like, I wonder what jeweler he went to.
I think he went to Paul Wall.
Paul Wall. But yeah, no, Elton John, he's still here.
Yeah, he's around till Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, okay. But then, yeah, after him, the gift
expo. It's kind of a drop off, but I respect it.
I mean,
I saw at the convention center they're having the foreign car expo. I think that's a little more enticing to me.
That is enticing. Although I wonder, like,
how foreign the cars will be.
Yeah, because if it's like, here's the Mitsubishi Outlander, it's like, well, I can see 100 of these if I drive down South Tacoma way. Yeah, so it's like, that's not that exciting. But
what if it's the Ferrari, whatever the new Ferrari is?
I'm doubtful, only because like if it was like supercars and stuff like that, they'd probably call it like the exotic car show or supercar show. Because it's imports. It's like, here's the new Mazda 3.
That's a good point. So it does seem like modern cars, but maybe not super modern cars.
It's probably...
I wonder if it's connected to the car museum.
I don't think so, but like one of Tacoma's major imports is cars from Asia. So especially like Mitsubishi, Mazda, I think Nissan maybe. So I wonder if it has something to do with that. So that would be funny if like
they just were like, we're low on storage space for a week. We need somewhere to put all these cars.
Believe it or not, actually, like I think that yard clears out pretty quick. Like the automotive terminals.
Oh yeah.
They clear out pretty quick. They're still...
Well, like cars are a hot commodity these days.
Super hot, yeah. But also from Korea, can't forget the Korean cars. We got Hyundai, Kia. Those are some big imports. You know what our number...
Is there an Indian car?
There's a truck company called, I think, Tata.
Nice.
They make trucks, but I've never seen one in the United States. I'm sure they make cars too, but...
You know, my brother and I were looking up the country's GDPs and what their biggest companies were.
Yeah.
And it was surprising how significant car manufacturing is in the global GDP.
Really?
It's probably it's like a top 5 industry.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's crazy
to Germany, almost half of its GDP is cars.
The crazy thing is, like, there's so many car brands out there that, like, you won't find in the United States, or if you do, it's, like, very rare. Like, Opel or, like, Renault are big companies in Europe, but you will almost never find their cars over here.
Totally.
But, yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I feel like... I don't know how, like, some companies just figure out how to make it in the American market, and some companies don't.
Some companies don't bother.
Yeah. Yeah, or just don't even bother. I mean, it's a tough market because, like, you have to bring pickup trucks and SUVs to the table. hands down.
Well, or different tariffs make it. Maybe you just want to be domestic.
For sure. And then, I don't think I had anything else.
Well, you're going to be hosting at the Tacoma Club.
Tuesday. Tuesday. Yeah, I'm going to be hosting at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Hell yeah, I'll be there.
I'm looking forward to that. So
me too.
That should be a good time. A lot of people so I saw the list. A lot of those names I don't recognize. So
yeah, that seems to happen a lot.
It'll be interesting.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, fingers crossed. They're all real funny.
Fingers crossed they show up. They're real people.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I think that about does it for this Monday morning.
All right.
And have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you.